The 2023 season of Battlebots is back once again, as it's time for the Golden Bolt Tournament. But the build up to the Golden Bolt Tournament, there are 5 Sin City Slugfests. So basically, a series of tournaments building up to the main tournament. And I gotta say, it's so great to be back. Let's do this. We get a nice, short but sweet intro as we enter the first Sin City Slugfest. The intro feels very confident jumping from the 2015 season. Like, they don't need to go overboard to hype us up for this, as we already know this will be a blast. Like, Battlebots has nothing to prove here. We then go to Chris and Kenny, who go into how the first Champions event was a big deal. It led to some amazing moments, and then they explain the format of this one, and how there are 5 Slugfests, with the 3 remaining slots being filled by former champions Endgame, Tantrum, and Sawblaze, meaning that when it's all said and done, we will have 8 robots competing for the Golden Bolt. And yes, to answer a question that I might get in the comment section, the giant bolts do in fact fit with the giant nut. Ray Billings actually answered that question if you want to check his channel out. In the first tournament, we got a whole slew of fun robots, some of which could really do with a redemption to showcase themselves. In the first round, we had Shreddit Bro vs Scorpios, Switchback vs Kraken, Rotator vs Terratops, and Valkyrie vs Ominous. This is just the first round, and it already looked pretty exciting, and I couldn't wait to see which of these designs proves themselves. In the first fight, it was between Shreddit Bro and Scorpios, which was a fight I was definitely excited for. I've been hoping the entire series to see Shreddit Bro achieve its potential, as a great drum spitter can be so entertaining to watch. On the other hand, Scorpios is a robot I've grown more fond of over time. Safe to say it's a fight where I'm happy either way, but I was definitely hoping for Shreddit Bro to prove any doubters wrong. Now, at first I was definitely curious to see Scorpios go for its traditional front as opposed to those giant forks, but given the wide base of Shreddit Bro, I can see how the curve to their traditional front could work out very well, at least on paper. Now the battle begins and Shreddit Bro chases after Scorpios, but their drum is just a little too low as it keeps grazing the floor. Still, the death hunt is quick and ominous as ever, as Scorpios is unable to do much. Soon Shreddit Bro lands a massive shot as smoke briefly rises from Scorpios, while Shreddit Bro keeps their sparks flying. Soon a chain or belt or something comes off of Scorpios as their hammer saw finally gives up, meaning that Scorpios has no answer for Shreddit Bro, as Shreddit Bro keeps the pressure on, landing some massive hits on Scorpios. While the drum keeps hitting the floor, causing sparks to fly and Shreddit Bro even to bounce sometimes, it doesn't seem to be hindering them enough, as Scorpios' front is beginning to buckle and bend, with Scorpios eventually breaking down. Shreddit Bro actually briefly does get stuck on the dead Scorpios' plow, but they do get off, as Scorpios is counted out and the victory is given to Shreddit Bro. Now I gotta say, this was an exciting, if one-sided encounter. Scorpios, I imagine, had something go wrong, as they definitely seemed less durable than usual, but at the same time, Shreddit Bro was performing better than ever, and altogether that made just a crazy opening squash match. This was a lot of fun, and gave me a lot of hope for Shreddit Bro as we headed into this. After that, we got Rotator versus Terratops. Now this was a fight that I thought was very interesting. Rotator, of course, is a good combination of power and durability, but Terratops has been an extremely impressive rookie bot. Not putting them in the top 10 new robots was definitely a mistake on my end, but of course I can always make up for that mistake with my returning bot of World Championship 8. Subscribe. Saying that though, their forks were my big concern. We saw at Robo Games that was a major issue against White Rabbit, aka Malice, and that was done after this was recorded. So I was definitely concerned for them heading into that. Saying that, spinner on spinner, I thought Terratops could dish out some nasty shots, and the main body looked pretty tough, so there was definitely some room for things to go either way. On top of that, Terratops also actually seemed to have an attachment to absorb some of Rotator's horizontal spinner blows, which, while it does sacrifice some of the fork's suplexing ability, I thought was smart because it was either that, or the forks just get decimated right away. Now the battle begins, and Terratops actually starts off arm in the air to go spinner on spinner. They are not taking any chances with the durability of that lifting arm. They want that thing to be there, the entire fight, which fair enough. And they were exchanging blows spinner on spinner. But soon, one half of Terratops's drive seems to break down, leaving them struggling as Rotator slowly begins picking them apart. Still, Terratops keeps on crab walking through all the abuse. Even if they can't do much, they have both weapons ready and are trying their best to keep their front to Rotator. Despite this though, Rotator keeps on them with spinner shots and then using the Pulverizer to break Terratops's ribs. After a little movement, Terratops' drive soon gives up entirely. Rotator wins in impressive fashion. Now Terratops for a rookie team have certainly got an impressive robot, and I'm genuinely curious to see how the design is improved for World Championship 8. Like, they seem to be really onto something here based on some of the fights that we've seen with Terratops in Battlebots and Robo games. But Rotator was just overwhelming with their own great design as well as their experience. Not as good a fight as the first match, but both fights have been solid. After that, we got Switchback versus Kraken, and oh, Kraken. On one hand, I really like Switchback's new, improved design. It's really great with the egg beater and the lifting arm, and Kraken has a pretty nice new design too, but Kraken has too many teething problems that I can just tell that this fight was going to be one-sided before the buzzer even sounded. I still think the new design has potential, as it's got pretty good drive, the weapon packs some mean punch, but I just don't think it's ready for World Championship 7. Still, the buzzer sounds, and Kraken ends up actually initially overturning, but neither robot gets there at first, so it doesn't really amount to much. But then when the weapons collide, that pretty much shakes up the entire fight and dictates how things are going to go. As when the weapons collide, Switchback gets the better of it, punting Kraken over and immediately disabling Kraken's weapon, as Kraken ends up going into the screws. Kraken recovers, but with no weapon, Switchback keeps the pressure on. Though at the same time, it appears that Switchback's own spinner stopped working as well. Still, despite losing the spinner, Switchback clearly has more pushing power, and they keep hunting Kraken down. Switchback does show a brief bit from their spinner, but it quickly dies again as they continue to bully Kraken about. Kraken soon begins smoking some more, but all they can do is keep running away and making things difficult for Switchback. But it's clear they can't do anything substantial themselves now that the weapon is gone, so the action does begin to lull here. Finally, the match goes the full 3 minutes, and to the judges, who obviously give the fight to Switchback. Honestly, while this fight started off exciting with the initial weapon-on-weapon collision, with the weapons giving out so quickly, and the fact that Switchback, while it can push robots about, and was a better pusher than Kraken, it's not as good a pusher as, say, a robot like Quantum. It's not a robot that can lose its main weapon and really bounce back as well as a robot like Quantum can. So that coupled with the fact that Kraken really just kept dodging and weaving, it definitely hindered the entertainment value of the match towards the end. After that, we got Valkyrie versus Ominous, and Valkyrie feels like the obvious choice in this situation, but at the same time, it would be really nice to see Ominous prove itself in this fight. They also brought it up that Reality was from World Championship 3, which really shows you how long it's been since we've seen the Ominous team. Valkyrie came out with their bar undercutters to dish out heavier hits, which against Ominous feels like the best choice. Ominous meanwhile has gone for a more defensive approach with a rather sturdy looking plow that reaches out towards the two front wheels, meaning that Ominous was built generally to deal with more abuse from the horizontal spinner. The green light is on and both robots make their way over, but Ominous isn't spinning the weapon at first, as Valkyrie gets some nice shots in at the beginning. Late to the party, Ominous' spinner does get moving, but the plow begins getting chipped away by Valkyrie. Ominous gets some little looks in, but the reach of Valkyrie is clearly causing Ominous some issues. Ominous has a similar strategy, it seems, to like Witch Doctor, but Witch Doctor's spinner is definitely more out there and able to hit with a little bit more decisiveness, but I imagine even Witch Doctor would have a little trouble getting to Valkyrie at first with the length of the bar, so Ominous is really struggling. And as time goes on, Ominous is slowly but surely breaking down as bits of the Omni wheel start scattering around the battle box. Ominous does get in a huger collision with Valkyrie getting sent into the screws, but Valkyrie recovers easily and keeps chipping away And just as I was thinking it would go the full 3 minutes, at least there'd be something for Ominous, Valkyrie goes in with their biggest shot of the fight, knocking Ominous out. This one was actually the complete opposite to the Kraken vs Switchback fight. It started a little bit more slowly, the fight maybe wasn't quite there at first, it was a little cool, but it began heating up more and more as time went on. Now, if Valkyrie can fight more like that, they might get back to their status of being a truly fearsome undercutter. And in the first fight of the second round, it was between Shredded Bro and Switchback. Two vertical spinners that I really like, and have really been proving themselves as of this season. But I feel like there's so many moving parts to Switchback that heading in, I already felt that Shredded Bro would prove to be more reliable in this one. At the same time though, I know that Switchback does have some major weapon power, so either way, I was excited to see how it would shake up. Weirdly, Switchback came out with their beak attachment, which on paper I see where they're coming from, but I'll admit it wouldn't have been my first choice. Though, not like I know better than the actual team, it is their robot after all. So going in, I could only hope it was the right choice for them to make it an even battle. Now the fight begins, and Shredded Bro is coming out while Switchback was a little more hesitant, though they did get a nice shot in, but Shredded Bro still got the better of it in the end, as Switchback's weapon quickly packed up. Shredded Bro began death humming as they began tearing the armor apart, ripping back that flimsy bit at the back, before getting a mighty shot in on Switchback. Anytime Switchback self's right, we see Shredded Bro destroying them some more, soon ripping the beak off. Shredded Bro soon gets one last almighty shot in, sending Switchback flipping in the air and crashing down dead. And this fight was great, another amazing display by Shredded Bro. They really have been coming into their own. Like, if you watch this season, you've been watching the evolution of Shredded Bro in real time. They've been looking better than ever as they move on to the finals. Then we got Rotator versus Valkyrie in an undercutter fight. I was definitely leaning to Rotator in this one, as while Valkyrie has been improving, I wasn't sure yet if it was at the level where it could take out a robot like Rotator, at least until they were fully confident in the bot. Still, this had the potential to be a really close one, given that these are probably the two top undercutters in Battlebots right now. Rotator is actually going in though, with the spinner up top, so undercutter versus overcutter fight, I guess? As well as that, Rotator also has an extremely sturdy wedge to endure shots from Valkyrie, meanwhile Valkyrie is going in with their tri-tipped spinner. Now the match begins and Rotator comes out wedge first, but both are tentative as they both get up to speed. Soon the weapons clash, and after some sparks, Rotator gets the better of the initial exchange, followed by Rotator being sent flying with the second shot. Still, both robots are mostly unfazed as they keep exchanging blows. The bots are both giving high impact shots while at the same time being armored enough that they can endure them with ease. Rotator is masterfully changing how they use the wedge and the weapon, but Valkyrie is still dishing out massive, powerful shots, and one does a significant number on Rotator. Still, Valkyrie at the same time looks like a dog's chew toy with the damage that they've sustained to the front. Towards the end of the fight, however, Rotator's spinner seems to be in worse shape as it seems to be spinning slower. The wedge is looking properly damaged as well, and Valkyrie ends the fight with a huge flurry of offense, which I have to imagine helped with the judges' decision. The judges deliberate, and they end up giving the fight to Valkyrie. Rotator would go on to appeal decision, but Valkyrie was maintained as the winner. I gotta admit, while I knew the fight could be fun, my expectations were actually a little lower than you might think. As heading into the fight, I wasn't sure if Valkyrie was truly ready yet, but I can safely say that Lucy has shown that she has truly gotten to grips with Valkyrie now. Similar to its future opponent Shredded Bro, they've really begun to prove themselves in this final stretch. But only one robot can make it to the Golden Bolt tournament, so we're on to the final of the Sin City Slugfest. But first, before we do that, they mentioned the Giant Bolt Awards were given out. The Excellence in Sportsmanship Award went to Rory Mangles of Monsoon. To go from wrecking a champion in Robot Wars with nuts to being recognised in Battlebots with a giant bolt, that's definitely been a great career, in my opinion, so I gotta give congrats to Rory there. Next was the most destructive, which went to huge. And I can definitely see this one being controversial because it didn't go to the bot that courts controversy, Riptide. It definitely is a close call in my opinion, however, but I'm certainly happy to see Huge standing tall, not walking away completely empty-handed. But again, I could see people really disagreeing with this one, given the state that Riptide left some of its opponents in. Shredderator. Then the Grant Imahara Award for Best Design went to Ripperoni, which for its innovation with the rear flywheel, I can totally understand. Though I'd have loved for a bot like Claw Viper to get it for its amazing speed and control, as they're really pushing what control bots are capable of. Still, Ripperoni is also very deserving of the award, and it's great to see them being recognised. Finally was the Founders Award, which went to Martin Mason of Mad Catter. Honestly, I think that's great. Martin is extremely entertaining even without the bot, and it's nice to see Greg and Trey recognising that and honouring them. Speaking of entertainment, if you become a member, not only do you get access to custom emotes, you get access to members-only videos, including bonus reviews and members-only Battlebots challenges in Robot Arena 2. More's to come, and yeah, have a think about that as we head into the final between Shredded Bro versus Valkyrie. And this one, I straight up couldn't tell who would win. On one hand, Shredded Bro feels like the one I wanted to lean to, but that reach advantage has really been helping Valkyrie out immensely. With their bar as well, they were coming in to match the power levels, meaning I was extremely excited for this one. It was impossible for me to predict. The final begins, and both robots are quickly up to speed, and the reach of Valkyrie does win them the first exchange, only for Shredded Bro to come and win the second exchange. Soon both robots are exchanging major shots back and forth as they send each other flying. Soon though, while sending Valkyrie into the screws, Shredded Bro's drum seems to stop working. Because of this, Shredded Bro doesn't have as many options against Valkyrie except to try and break that fist with their face as they dance around, trying to push Valkyrie. But at the same time, Valkyrie's drive seemed to be struggling, getting worse as worse, which started to allow Shredded Bro more opportunities to get around that weapon and start slamming them into the wall, allowing the weapon to smack into the wall, causing more damage to Valkyrie, as they then push them into the screws, or at least they got a little taste of the screws. After this, Valkyrie really isn't moving much at all, but due to the uncertainty of there being movement, as they were kind of moving a little, just a little bit, you know, if you look at you could probably count the individual atoms at this point that Valkyrie was moving. They decide that they're going to push Valkyrie into one more wall, where Valkyrie is finally considered to not be moving and is counted out. Both robots did have some form of reliability issue in this fight due to all the damage stacking up, but in this case, that's just part of the tension and the drama. These robots have been through a lot of fights, and it was only at this final stage that it really started to, be a bit much for them both. But in the end, the drive giving up on Valkyrie was a fatal problem for them, and it overall made for a very fun main event. Overall, I'd say this episode was mostly pretty fun. Even in weaker fights, the weapons were dishing out some nasty shots throughout. It was also great to see a bunch of redemptions in this episode. Seeing Shredded Bro really proving itself in this was so much fun to see. I've been hoping that we'd get to see this all season, and now in the 2023 season, they've proven themselves so much that they're now heading to the Golden Bolt Tournament, and best of luck to them. I can't wait to see how the Golden Bolt Tournament continues to shake up, and I hope that you'll join me along for the ride. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell to be notified of future videos that I'm doing. I've been doing a bunch of reviews, I've got some more, I'm doing some Robot Arena 2 challenges. I'm also going to be doing some other content in the future that's not robot related. It's going to be a fun time really. The channel's always experimenting, but the content that you're looking to see is coming in, there's plenty more to come, let's just say that. And yeah, I hope you all enjoy. Remember to share this video around with your friends, that'd be great to get more eyes on the channel. And like I mentioned earlier, if you become a member, you get access to members-only videos as well as custom emotes. Anyway, I hope to see you all next time. Bye guys!